Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Good morning to you. It is the 15th of May already, and a nice-looking day out. We'll have your complete forecast again here in just a few moments. Also a check on the weather. But we're going to say good morning to our friend Jim Scholl. He is former mayor of Monroe County and commissioner as well. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Michael. I'm doing well this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. So you've been on the road a bit. You just got back from West Palm Beach. You and our current mayor, Michelle Lincoln, were asked to sit on a panel at the Governor's Hurricane Conference, which just concluded. And the panel, as I understand it, and as you had explained, was was talking about government and community relations and working between the two. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yes, this was an opportunity. We got invited months ago to come up there and sit on a panel for the attendees to discuss the relationships between the elected officials in government, the appointed officials in government, and the communities and first responders and contractors and all those relationships that allow us to get prepared. Number one, be prepared for emergency events, and in this case, primarily hurricanes, and then how we deal with it during the storm and then after the storm, the recovery processes and how those all integrate together, and how we work very hard to establish good working relationships beforehand so that we can efficiently and effectively handle any type of an event, but in this case, hurricane. So it was interesting, a big crowd there, and our moderator asked us a lot of different questions related to our positions and how we establish the communications, the relationships and the communications amongst ourselves and with the public. So it was a good opportunity to tell some real-time lessons learned, and then also really emphasize the preparation portion and the training involved in that, and how you just always prepared and have the team in place that is ready to go to support a hurricane event.
Obviously, we've had hurricane events here in Monroe County, and we've learned some lessons from that, which I'm sure that you transferred to the discussion from just the other day.
Well, yes, and every event is different, and I got here permanently back in 2003, and out at the Navy base, and of course 2004 and 2005 were quite active hurricane seasons, so I got a lot of experience those 2 years while I was still in the Navy, and one of the benefits of having been here in that position at that time is, Michael, that the Navy base is not only in the island or on the island of Key West, but on the island of Boca Chica, where the airfield is in Monroe County. So I obviously got to develop relationships with those two government entities back then. And of course, back then I didn't know that was going to be just the beginning of experience with tropical storms and hurricanes, and I was at the city for 10 years, and we had some hurricane events, tropical storm events, the biggest one being Irma back in 2017, and then now at the county. So I've kind of grown up in the emergency management world in Monroe County, so it makes me somewhat of an expert, I guess, for lack of a better term, on dealing with it intergovernmentally, and of course with recovery contractors, and trying to provide good information to our citizens when we do have events.
Yes.
So it was a pretty good pedigree, I think.
I think it is, and those are just some of your qualifications for that role, and others as well. Commissioner Jim Scholl, former mayor of Monroe County, a current District 3 commissioner, and we also had you joined by our mayor Michelle Lincoln, and Corey Squeezo, the Director of Emergency Management for Monroe County. You had mentioned there was quite a crowd there. Who was in the audience? Was it by invitation or was it an open forum, being the governor's hurricane conference?
Well, it was an open forum. They had so many breakout sessions. They had lots of conference rooms set up. We were in one, and we probably had 50 or 60 people that showed up. But these are like I said, at the time, there were probably 8 or 10 different breakout sessions for the attendees. And this is attended by, I would guess, over 1,000 people total were there. And they would have plenary sessions. And, of course, then these breakout sessions all day long for several days. So we were just one of the opportunities for people to select to go to as an elective training session. So we had a good crowd, and they asked a lot of good questions, and they certainly seem to have enjoyed the opportunity to have been there to listen to our historical perspective and our experiences. And I think the one that was the most interesting for them when we were talking about Hurricane Irma and the fact that the entire Florida Keys lost water supply, which was one of these unanticipated things that happened, but we certainly had to deal with it. And the Aqueduct Authority did a great job, number one, turning off all the water, because there were people that had docks all up and down the Keys and everything that had water lines to them. They didn't turn the water off to those. And of course, the storm damaged all those docks, and then in the neighborhoods where trees went down and the roots tore up the water lines. So fortunately, the main water line was fine, but it was just all the branches in the entire length of the Keys that had so many breaks in water lines that we were losing water faster than we could store it. So they had to turn off all the water, and for a couple of days we had no water, and then for a while we had water 2 hours a day, and eventually recovered. So that had a major impact, obviously, on the recovery, primarily because we had a lot of people here that did not evacuate. So it was it's very difficult when you don't have water to be able to survive. Mm-hmm. So that created quite a requirement to help those that were here, not only the first responders and the recovery teams, but also the residents that were here. So that was one of these things that, you think you have a good plan for everything, but then there's always something.
There is.
That can make it a real challenge. So that was just one of the real-time stories that was brought up during the event. A lot of people are like, oh, my God, how do you deal with that? Well, you get the team together, and we all figure out, how do we plan this? What are we going to do? So,
Well, learn from experience, and we have done that. Commissioner Jim Scholl, District 3, former mayor of Monroe County, among other things. And we had mentioned water, so let's mention the Mole Pier lease. Again, of course, you were the commanding officer at Naval Air Station Key West. You alluded to that from 2003 to 2006. So you do have a perspective that most of us do not, of the inner workings of the Navy, et cetera. Now, I'm unclear, frankly, as to whether local Navy command had any say in, what happened with the Mole Pier lease being rescinded or not being renewed or terminated even. However, that has occurred, and it's a little unclear as far as how we move forward from here. You did tell me earlier, though, there appears to be a request for interest being put out to the public to see what the future might hold for that pier.
Yes, the Navy unilaterally terminated the lease, and that lease had been in existence since 2003, early 03, as a mutually beneficial business agreement with the city to be able to have control over the Mole Pier when the Navy wasn't directly using it. So it was the only lease of its kind in the country, and at the time, the requirement was that it had to be a government entity to be the partner in the lease. So the city was that government entity, and then they were able to use that lease to bring in cruise ships during the year, and then also back then use it for the and has been used continuously for the powerboat races in November, and then also back then in January we had the Key West Regatta, the big sailing vessel competition down here. So it had multiple uses. The cruise ships certainly were a revenue generator for the city, and that lease also had a provision where a portion of the revenues generated from the cruise ships' port fees went to the Navy in an escrow to be able to use to maintain the pier, because obviously the cruise ships contributed to some of the wear and tear. So that was a very good symbiotic relationship, if you will, for the community and for the Navy. And of course, several years ago, a group in Key West was able to get a referendum on the ballot that the group called Safer, Cleaner Ships lobbied to have the city not support the large cruise ships because their position was they were polluting our environment. I think that's not entirely true, but anyway, that was their stance, and they were able to get enough votes on a referendum to have the city terminate using the outer mole for cruise ships, which of course impacted the city's revenue and also the Navy's ability to collect a portion of the fees, the docking fees, to maintain the pier. So I don't know this for sure, but it would appear to me that the Navy would like to reestablish a relationship with a group that would again support cruise ships, perhaps, and of course all the other events that have happened down there. So again, we'll find out, and I think the RFI is out there for response by June 3rd. Is what I'm reading in the paper anyway. So anyway, an opportunity to see if there's another entity out there that would like to partner with the Navy for use of that pier to support events out there and perhaps cruise ships again.
Okay, that'll be interesting to see that development as well. Thank you for that perspective, Commissioner. And let's also talk about a proclamation that was made by the Board of County Commissioners naming May 10th through the 16th as Law Enforcement Memorial Week in Monroe County, honoring the service, sacrifice, and dedication of law enforcement officers who protect communities each and every day. And it is going to culminate in a service for law enforcement memorial service for those who have fallen in the line of duty, and it recognizes the ongoing service of law enforcement personnel throughout Monroe County. That will happen today, 5 p.m. at Bayview Park in Key West. All are invited and encouraged to attend.
Yes, and that's an annual event, and Mayor Lincoln will be here, and I'm fairly sure Mayor Enriquez will be there as a participants and read the proclamations, and our Chief Brandenburg will be there. I believe the sheriff will be there, if not one of his senior representatives, and it's always a somber occasion, and they read the list of names of all those law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty all the way back to the early 1900s. And I know Chief Brandenburg was saying there will be some family members of some of those early on law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. So it is an important event to remember those who protect us every day and those who unfortunately lost their lives doing that.
Yes. Well, an important event indeed, and that again being Law Enforcement Memorial Week, culminating with the memorial service today at 5 p.m. Bayview Park. Speaking of Memorial Day, that is, of course, almost upon us. May 25th, Monroe County offices will be closed, as will most government and public sector offices, banks, and the like. Very appropriately so. A number of ceremonies in the Florida Keys will be occurring starting at 9 a.m. at the USS Maine Memorial Key West Cemetery, and then a list of memorial services will continue throughout the day. And, of course, we want to thank you as a proud veteran, and we also want all to take a time to recognize those who have fallen, where that is what Memorial Day is for. So that's coming up in just over a week.
Yes, and, that Monday we have the first event at the Key West Cemetery at the Maine Winslow Memorial, right inside the main gate of the cemetery. That's 9 o'clock, and that is set up by the Navy League, and of course the commanding officer of the base will be there for that one. And then at 10 o'clock, Bayview Park at the Veterans Memorial site there. And then 11 o'clock out at Big Coppet, or the Lower Keys events at the Big Coppet Cemetery at the military portion of that cemetery. Mm-hmm. So it's a very long morning for those of us that go to all three of those events, but it's just important to remember, again, those military members who obviously made the ultimate sacrifice protecting the freedoms of this nation.
Yes, sir. Well, and we thank them so very much for their sacrifice. And again, those commemorative Memorial Day services will be coming up in just over a week. We'll continue to remind our listeners where and when they can take part in that as well. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Commissioner, I know you have a busy day to get to, and some other business occurred at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. We will talk about that as those stories do develop, unless there's anything else that you'd like to mention at this time, sir.
Well, no, I just thank you for the opportunity to talk to everybody this morning, and have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all that you do for our community, all that you have done for our country. You continue to serve so admirably, and we are greatly indebted to you for that. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, Michael. Take
care. Yes, sir. Thank you. It
Bye.
Is, yes, sir, Commissioner Jim Scholl, Commissioner District 3, former mayor of the county, former commanding officer, Naval Air Station Key West, continues to serve in so many different capacities, and we appreciate that very much. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We will return in a moment.
Hey, Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar, listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect, because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town Key West, or twofriends.com.
It's almost time. The Lower Keys Chamber of Commerce 33rd Annual Dolphin Tournament is happening June 5th, 6th, and 7th. Hook your chance at a $10,000 grand prize for the largest dolphin caught, plus cash prizes for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, awesome trophies, and extra prizes just for the youth division. Sign up before the end of May to save $50 on your registration. Now at lowerkeyschamber.com or call 305-872-2411. Sponsored by Lower Keys Tackle and the Monroe County Tourist Development Council.
Let's talk trash. I'm Taylor Conrath, and my family's been taking care of your family's trash for years. In fact, we've operated Marathon Garbage Service and kept the Middle Keys clean since my great-grandpa, John Conrath, founded the company in 1950. That's a lot of years talking trash and hauling trash. And these days, we take care of your family's recyclables in addition to commercial and residential waste removal. The Conrath family and our entire team of great employees takes pride in keeping our community clean, from the north end of the 7 Mile Bridge to Craig Key. Now it's my generation of Conraths working together with my grandfather and my dad to continue the tradition and commitment started in 1950 at Marathon Garbage Service. The Conrath family is always there for your family. If you need to talk trash, just call us at 305-743-5165. That's 305-743-5165. Or visit us at 4290 Overseas Highway in Marathon and online at marathongarbageservice.com.
Attention Key West! The Rotary Club of Key West invites you to step into the speakeasy as they present the Roaring 20s Casino Night, Saturday, May 16th from 6:30 to 11 p.m. at Beachside Resort. This isn't just another fundraiser, it's your night, Key West, where the clinking of conch chips meets the swell of live jazz from the Key West Jazz Society, and where every roll of the dice and flip of a card sends another local student closer to their dreams. Enjoy tastings and sips from Naughty Beach Rum and El Bandito Tequila, as well as non-alcoholic beverages, a 360-degree photo opportunity, a live raffle and auction, prizes for the best costume, and of course, what's a casino night without a variety of casino games? Proceeds from this event funds Rotary Foundation scholarships, giving our community students the support they deserve. Pre-sale early bird tickets available now for $100, which includes $150 in conch chips, or purchase at the door for $150, which includes $100 in conch chips. Step back in time for the Key West Rotary Club's Roaring 20s Casino Night, Saturday night, May 16th. For tickets and more information, visit kwrotarycasinonight.org. Special thanks to title sponsor Hank's Hair of the Dog Saloon.
In Key West, getting around should feel simple, and it is, with Key West Transit by your side. For years, we've helped locals and visitors move through the island with ease, and we're here to keep you moving forward. Whether you're catching the Workforce Shuttle, riding the Lower Key Shuttle, or booking a quick trip with Key West Rides on Demand, there's a ride that fits your day.
Wherever you're headed, start your trip at kwtransit.com. That's kwtransit.com.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Good morning to you. Beautiful looking day so far. Very few clouds in the sky. Very slight chance of rain through the weekend. We'll have that full forecast for you again in just a little bit. But we're going to bring in a special guest this morning. And we are going to say hello to Betty Chaplin. She's the Republican Party of Monroe County Secretary. She's also a member of the Republican Executive Committee, the Secretary thereof. So good morning to you, Betty.
Good morning. It's nice to hear you.
It's nice to hear you as well. And we wanted to say good morning and have a little discussion with you because you're currently serving on the Republican Executive Committee as the Secretary. So maybe explain that for just a moment. That's a pretty big job.
Yeah, it really is. And I have a lot of help doing that because being an officer is not a paid job. It's something that you do with compassion and experience, and I love the group that I'm with, and they talked me into
it. and you said yes, and we're thankful that you did, because you are a 76-year resident of Marathon, Florida, started your early life on Pigeon Key. Your father was the manager there of the Overseas Road and Toll Bridge District. Your family moved to Marathon in 1954, and I continue to hear stories about how Marathon was back in the early 50s and the change it has gone through over the years. That is a whole other discussion, and it's been fascinating. But during that 76 years, have you always been a Republican?
No. As a matter of fact, Republican was a very strange word even. A long time ago, we were all Democrats, everybody. We were Harry Truman Democrats. So neat that the Harry Truman White House is in Key West. And it's beautiful, and they've maintained it so well. But we were Harry Truman Democrats. Ronald Reagan changed us, and my whole family changed to Republican in 1996. And then in 1999, we incorporated Marathon. The city of Marathon now exists. But no, the Democratic Party changed. We didn't change, but the Democratic Party isn't the same thing it was when we were Democrats.
It has, yes. We've heard many cases of that where things have changed over the years.
Yes.
But again, we are speaking with Betty Chaplin, Republican Executive Committee Secretary on Good Morning Keys. So you've been active in Monroe County and in state politics for a while, and we'll talk a little bit about that history as well. There's a lot to go over there, so that'll probably be future conversations to continue this discussion. However, what is it that keeps you active in Monroe County and in state politics overall?
Well, I'm going to be 82 next month, and there's an advantage in age, and that is that you have a great memory and you have an advantage in experience. I mean, I can almost hear a conversation sometimes if I'm in a group And I will say, gee, I've heard that before. And it's either a good thing or it's a scary thing or it's a dangerous thing. Words are very powerful, and people who use words with good intentions are wonderful. But a lot of fabrication going on, and I recognize it immediately. A lot of experience with business. My husband and I have been married 60 years. He's just a super great guy. I'm going to try to keep him alive at least until he's 90. But
good.
Anyway, we love it here. We've been everywhere. And the Florida Keys, everybody says it's special. It is. It's very, very special. But I really think it's the people that make it that way. And once I became a Republican, the think-alike people that I surrounded myself with, where, you know, you can call them the 10 Commandments, or you can call them the strong suggestions. But, you know, to not steal or murder, and to have respect for authority and to be as good of a person as you possibly can be is not easy all the time, but it should be. And I really like the Republican rules and regulations that Florida's sent down to us, and the Washington, D.C. is getting a good whitewashing, or a cleaning, I should say. And, you know, it's experience is the most important thing about being here the longest. And I see great virtue and promise with the Republican Party.
Betty Chaplin, she is the Secretary of Republican Executive Committee on Good Morning Keys, and served in a number of other capacities as well, including the member of the Upper Keys Republican Club, Southernmost Republican Club, past president of Middle Keys Republican Club. And thankfully, you still attend that because your sandwiches are wonderful. So everybody enjoys that, apparently. And interestingly enough, you talk about how your family migrated to the Republican Party in 1996 under the influence of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was wonderful. He really was. But we have Donald Trump now, and I just cannot thank God enough for answering our prayers. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has a chance to try things out and see how things work. But he's a businessman who really loves his country and loves his family. And that's what's showing now. So the biggest thing is to know that we are the real Republican Party. There are a lot of people who claim they are. They go through the motions, but you can only use the Republican logo or our titles if you are sanctioned and chartered. And there are several people several groups, I should say, that say they're conservative. That's probably the most abused word in the world, is conservative. So what does that mean? You were talking about hurricanes earlier with the wonderful Commissioner Scholl. I really like him a lot. You know, when you don't have water, you sure better have some on hand, and you better be a prepper. You better be prepared. I think the islands have taught us that through all kinds of different changes. But there's only one Republican Party in Montgomery County, and that's our party. And some of these other people who claim to be Republicans and say we're the shoot off, that's not true. We really have a great group. Southernmost has gone through some changes, and more people are coming. We had to get a bigger place to meet. The Upper Keys, I mean, I don't think we've ever been so joined and communicate, and the transparency and help through the Republican Party has been terrific. We've got some new candidates coming up, and we've worked really hard to get them, because it's not easy to be a public servant, a public official, I should say. You're not a servant, you're being paid to do that. But it's wonderful to be, and I will hopefully be able to do some positive things as a Republican and with the executive committee.
Yeah. Well, Betty, let's talk about that for a moment. You've often been involved with and helping with the Get Out the Vote efforts. The county was the top vote getter as far as percentages of votes in the last election. And let's talk about your specific goals for our citizens, especially for those registered voters.
Okay. I just really think and feel strongly that there's two most important things about our country. The vote is unbelievable. Look at how many countries that do not get to say how you run their country. And if they say anything bad about their country, they lose their lives. And the other thing is that you can own property. name other countries where you can own property. You either deal with a fiefdom or you deal with, again, somebody who will. Most wars have been over land. They use religion to get there, but it was to get somebody else's land. And in this country, you can own property, you can own your own business. If you want to work for somebody else, you can do that. It's your choice. So those two things are so valuable. And our vote was so compromised before. We have a fantastic supervisor of election, and the people she's chosen around her are fabulous. They are very dedicated. And people have faith in the vote, and they know that their vote will count. They'll come and vote again. Our turnouts have been terrible. And our goal is to make sure that when you're standing in line or you're doing a mail-in ballot, that you know it's going to count. The voting and the ownership in the United States is really why people come here.
Betty Chaplin, she's a Republican Executive Committee, the secretary on Keys Talk 96.9, 1025, the Talk of the Keys. So, Betty, any special points of interest coming up that you would like to share at this point?
Well, I'd like to encourage people to get involved if they want to. How do I become a Republican? Or I am a Republican. I really don't want to get too involved in something. We have 33 precincts. That's a lot of territory. You can be a precinct watcher. Sign up. You can come to meetings if you're a registered Republican. If you don't want to be a member, you don't have to be. You do have to be a registered Republican. We encourage registering to vote, and a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to be bothered. We hope we'll change that. And you meet great people. They don't toot their own horn. They really are very sincere about making our country strong again. We want to make education great again. We have people running for the school board. We have people running for mosquito control. Mosquitoes were so bad on the 4th of July that kids and families got back in their cars and went back home because they couldn't stand the mosquitoes. It was like it was 1954 again. I was very embarrassed. So we have Alex Osborne running for that. And then Tim Urbanski is running for utilities. Shalene Shaw is a gift. We would like for people to help us find more people to run for office. It's not easy, but once we know that you can do the job and be the best person for that job, we'll provide the money, we'll provide the work, we'll get you in. We want to clear the deck, and the biggest problem and the biggest goal is to not have fraud. I don't think there's a state in the United States that isn't fighting that right now. And the problem is that people who know what's happening, that they see something wrong, they're afraid to say anything. And we don't want that. We really feel that we'll want to appreciate you for doing that, for being a good elected person. I'm really kind of up to my neck with people who are 80 years old and running for office or running for a third term or fourth term. Groom somebody. Let them know what your job entails. Help somebody along so that you will be replaced someday and they will know what they're doing. These are how we work things. And I want to encourage people to get involved. If they want to get involved a little bit, great. If they want to get involved a lot, that's great too.
Betty Chaplin, she is the Republican Executive Committee Secretary on Good Morning Keys. You can find out more at keysgop.com. There's always a listing of upcoming Republican Club meetings and events. And it sounds like the message overall is to get involved, to get engaged, and to vote.
Yep, that's there are people who absolutely love registering people to vote, and they will take an hour, 2 hours, and talk to somebody. It really is important to not waste your power, if you will, and vote, or help find people that are worth voting for, or taking people to the polls when they aren't able to go anymore. I would love to see a big turnout for the midterm. That's, historically kind of short with the votes. We want record voting from Monroe County. Monroe County has a wonderful reputation in Tallahassee and Washington. We talk to Marco Rubio very often because Rhonda it's a personal friend of hers. We've grown up with these people. And when we have a problem or we need something, we know who to call. And that means a lot. They know they can trust us to tell them the truth. So do the right thing, get the vote out, show people that we do have power that way, and get involved.
Very well. Well, we wanted to give you the opportunity for your voice to be heard as well, serving as the secretary of the Republican Executive Committee. Thank you for sharing your perspectives, and also the historical perspective is fascinating as well. We'll certainly have more discussions about that. As a 76-year resident of Marathon, Florida, a very happy anniversary to you and your husband, Jim. 60th wedding anniversary this year. That is very commendable.
It is. We both deserve the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah, you maybe you could serve at the United Nations and do some peace treaties for lasting that long. That's for sure. Well, thank you so very much, Betty. Unless there's anything else you'd like to say, we'll let you continue with your day.
Oh, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. It's been great. Thank
you, Betty. Take care. We will talk soon, and thanks for your service.
Okay.
Okay, bye now. Betty Chaplin with us. She is Republican Executive Committee Secretary on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. And checking your weather forecast, we promised to do that. Looking pretty good, 83 degrees currently, on our way to 89 and sunny skies today. Tonight, 79 will be your low, so still going to be pretty warm with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, 91, 20% chance of rain there as well. And Sunday, much the same, 20% chance of rain, 91. And then back to Monday, 91, 30% chance of rain on Monday. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We will be back with more Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
The Key Largo Chamber of Commerce invites you to join them for their exciting monthly networking events. Members and non-members alike can enjoy a monthly networking luncheon on the second Thursday of every month, as well as an evening Members in Motion event on the fourth Thursday of the month. To register for Key Largo Chamber of Commerce events or to find out more information about this vital growing business organization, go to keylargochamber.org. That's keylargochamber.org.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Keys Auto Center, the Keys hometown dealership.
Hey folks, it's Stephen Bender at Key West Toyota. With record sales and our largest inventory ever, we've got the Toyota for you. And with our local deal match guarantee, you'll get the right deal without the Miami hassle. So come see the people you know, like, and trust at Key West Toyota on the Boulevard or at keywesttoyota.com. We've got the keys.
Key West is on the move with Key West Rides. Our transit service is customized for your transportation needs. With the Key West Rides app, you choose your bus stop pickup and drop-off locations, and you ride the bus on your own schedule. You can book a ride for now or book one for later. Key West Rides operates daily from 6 a.m. to 8:15 p.m. Download the app now and customize your ride with Key West Rides.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. No major incidents to report up and down US 1. That is good news as we move into a weekend of pretty nice weather. 83 degrees, as mentioned earlier, is your current temperature. We're going to 89 and sunny skies, so that is good. And I am sure that we're going to have similar weather for Labor Day weekend, but we're going to have lots of reasons to enjoy that weather. As once again, we're going to enjoy Just a Few Friends Key West. It's the third annual presentation of Just a Few Friends already. And for that, we bring in Jill Snodgrass with Daily Planet. Good morning to you, Jill.
Good morning, Michael.
Hi there. So you all have been busy, I know, and we talked previously many times about Daily Planet, all the things that you do for our community, and we'll get into that at some other point because we want to dedicate our time to talking about Just a Few Friends Key West, the Favorite Son Celebration Labor Day weekend, which this year is September 3rd through 7th. So where would you like to start? Because there's so many events to highlight here.
There is. I think first and foremost is the fact that the tickets have all gone on sale today. So we had a rollout this week with the VIPs having early access, and now the schedule and all the activities, all the experiences are live for anyone to check out on the website and hopefully get what they want, because there's a lot of things are selling fast.
Unbelievable. Yeah, well, I mean, I think the demand has built up over the past couple of years. Even the first year that you presented Just a Few Friends got a tremendous response, and since then it has really taken off. JustAFewFriendsKeyWest.com is where you find the full listing of events. You can buy your tickets right there on the homepage. A 5-day island celebration honoring Jimmy Buffett's legacy with live music, food, fun, and unforgettable experiences in Key West. You can see the whole schedule there. The event badges, hotel packages really are a great way to go as well.
They really are. It bundles everything that you need. You have your badge, which is a souvenir charity badge that helps benefit Reef Relief, the Bahama Village Music Program, as well as local scholarships for the high school students who are going into music programs. And those hotel packages are at our host hotels, which are the Pier House, Margaritaville. We also have packages over at Ocean's Edge. And then we have packages at La Concha. So those are our 4 host hotels. We also have hotels available at some other properties as well that are partnered with us. And of course, anytime you go through our packages, we benefit a little bit, and that helps to keep some of our major things free.
Yeah, indeed it does. Again, Jill Snodgrass, Daily Planet, talking about Just a Few Friends, Labor Day weekend coming up in just a few months. Tickets on sale today. Go to the website to make sure you get yours. That will get you special incentives and special privileges throughout the weekend. Souvenir collectible event badge available. It really is a full weekend of entertainment and getting together in so many different ways. And then, of course, it culminates in the free party in the park. And we've got Will Kimbrough coming back, Howard Livingston and the Mile Marker 24 Band, and announced recently Mac McAnally. Let's talk about him just a little bit. Grammy Award winner, singer-songwriter. Whoops, I brought up his video. We don't want to do that yet. But it's amazing, his credentials and what he'll be bringing to the Party in the Park culmination of Just a Few Friends.
We're so lucky to be able to have Mac. He's been Jimmy Buffett's right-hand man for years and years with the Coral Reefers Band. And where else can you come and see him free in a live concert right on the water at sunset in Key West, where it all began. We feel like it's just a tremendous experience, and we're delighted to be able to offer that this year.
Yeah. And in addition to all of the musical events, there's so many other events that you can take part in that weekend. Dolphin watch and snorkeling. You've got walking tours. You've got, oh, my goodness. And of course, the chart room is pretty prominent in all of this. Lots of people know the stories of the chart room. There's a cheeseburger beach battle. I witnessed that before. That lots of fun. I mean, again, the weekend has something for everybody. It is family friendly, and a lot of people will converge on Key West on Labor Day weekend for just a few friends.
The whole idea is it's taking over the entire island. So it's not just music here or something, on a stage there. It's experiences that are literally across island wide, all kinds of cultural activities. We have author panels. We have the screening of the new documentary that's being made about Shrimp Boat Sound. That director's going to be here, and he's going to be giving some exclusive preview cuts. That's pretty exciting. Carol Shaughnessy, who has a long-time connection, she was one of the original authors of the Coconut Telegraph with Jimmy Buffett. She's going to be doing that Tales from the Chart Room, which is amazing stories from the personal side of people who knew Jimmy Buffett when he was here. So just activities on the water. You can get out on sandbar cruises, sunsets, brunches on the water with Argo Navis, and Will Kimbrough and his wife are going to be special guests on that. So go through the whole entire schedule, pick out what appeals to you. There's no end to the types of things that you can schedule yourself for the weekend.
Well, what a great festival it is. Just a Few Friends, Key West Favorite Sun Celebration Labor Day Weekend 2026, September 3rd through the 7th. Just a Few Friends, KeyWest.com. We encourage you to go right to the 2026 schedule. And as Jill said, everything is listed there in chronological order and easy access to learn more, to get tickets to specific events, to RSVP. And we also encourage, as mentioned, to get your commemorative badge to make sure that you make the most of all of this weekend's entertainment and events and the like. Plus, those event badges support the festival's charitable mission, proceeds benefiting the Bahama Village Music Program, Reef Relief, and the Key West High School Scholarship Program. So you're giving back while you get that commemorative badge.
Over $45,000 was generated last year in donations from the badge sales. That's incredible, but we really are hoping to top that this year. And we know that the badges, along with being just a really cool souvenir, when you're in town and you see someone else with a badge on, you know that that's part of the tribe, that's part of your friends. So it creates that instant camaraderie. We also pass out stickers for your badges the whole weekend. So every event that you attend, you get a different sticker. And when you come home, you have this whole itinerary of everything that you did and went to on the badge. So it's really a fun way to be involved and to feel included.
Yeah, and there are so many events that are free to attend, but that commemorative badge, like you said, kind of sets you apart a little bit and gets you into even more of an exclusive kind of club. But it does get some special discounts and perks from local businesses, some early entry to events and that kind of thing. And
That's
again,
right.
it gives back to those three very, very worthwhile causes in our community. Just a Few Friends, Key West, third annual already, certain to be even bigger and better than ever before. Continues to really, really grow. And that 2026 schedule, Jill, just goes on and on. There's so much to do and take in.
Almost too much.
Almost. Well, somehow you and your intrepid staff at Daily Planet are managing to keep up with it. But tickets on sale today. So we got to go on and get that, get them early, get them often, and be here Labor Day weekend 2026. So, Jill, I think we've covered the highlights, but again, we probably didn't fully do it justice. We'll have you back to talk more as things get closer to the big Just a Few Friends Key West's favorite son celebration. Anything, though, that we should highlight before we let you go other than get your tickets?
Yes, because we had the very small, intimate Will Kimbrough in the chart room, never been done before. It was 38 tickets. It sold out in 2 days. So there's a lot of small batch experiences that go very, very quickly, like the trolley tour. So some of the walking tours, some of the, again, more intimate experiences. So get on there, make sure that you look today so that you don't miss out.
Yeah, indeed. 5 days celebrating our island's favorite son with good friends, sunshine, and my tab went away. And something else. Where did it go? Oh, yes. And great music, ocean breezes, sunset sails, and the laid-back Key West vibe. Even the website, it's got so much information, it's hard to keep up with. So it's, but again, do go to justafewfriendskeywest.com. Tickets on sale today. Huge celebration Labor Day weekend. Congratulations on the 3rd annual. It is going to be quite the weekend.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're
indeed.
excited to have your station involved again as well.
Yeah, Yacht Rock 93.7 will be
That's
there
right.
in the midst of it. Looking forward to that. It's great to be a part, so thanks for letting us do so. All right, Jill. Well, my best to you and Sean and Sam and everybody there. We appreciate all that you all do for our community at Daily Planet. And again, Just a Few Friends, so many people helping make this possible and come together. And we thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. You have a wonderful day, Jill. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Bye now. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. Again, you can see this conversation on Keys Living TV, channel 27 locally, worldwide on Roku streaming, and available by download at your app store for free. It's Keys Living TV for your app for your mobile device. And see our conversation with Jill repeated at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. today on Keys Living TV. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. Quick check of traffic. No major incidents to report up and down US 1 so far this morning. That is good news. Another few weeks of school and school buses being out and about. So keep that in mind. School zones, of course, still in effect. We are on our way to a pretty nice looking weekend. 20% chance of rain for tomorrow, though, so you could have a pop-up shower or a thunder shower. Today's high, though, 89 and sunny skies. Tonight, 79 for the low, mostly clear. Tomorrow, as mentioned, 91. Same for Sunday with a 20% chance of rain. Sunday night could get some showers there. 40% chance of that. Continuing with a 30% chance of a shower on Monday, and your high 91 for that. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. Breaking news as soon as it happens. Local, state, national news every half hour. Weather around the clock on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. And thank you so much for listening. One final reminder to attend the Law Enforcement Memorial Week, which culminates, of course, in the memorial ceremony that happens today, 5 p.m., Bayview Park. It will honor fallen officers and recognize the ongoing service of law enforcement personnel throughout Monroe County today at 5. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. Thank you for listening.